I'm delighted to welcome our two guests today to talk about our subject of cybersecurity. Immediately next to me is Casimiro Juanes, who is an adjunct professor at IE and head of IT at Ericsson. On my left is David Perez Lazaro, who is managing director and Accenture security lead for financial services in Europe, Africa, and Latin America, and the Accenture security lead for Spain. So welcome both of you. Now, our subject today, I'm sure you all understand the importance of it. Our homes, our offices, our working lives have been transformed over the past couple of years particularly by all of the gadgets, interconnections, web-enabled services that are available to us. And where we have a huge amount of data in our offices, a huge amount of data, more than we've ever had, about our customers, what they're doing and what they're buying and what they want from us. We've never had such access before. We've never had such interconnection before. But with that great benefit, there are also some dangers. In the last 3 months of 2016, there were 188 high-level cyber attacks in the UK. These are very, very serious attacks on companies and their networked facilities. So if I could start with you, Casimiro, what is the biggest issue that you think we should be focusing on when it comes to cybersecurity?
We are still falling into the same traps, either as individuals in our homes or as part of a company. And we are opening holes that other bad people outside are using. We have been working a lot on the awareness, on giving the right information so that people can take actions, but we have not focused on really measuring the actions, really changing the behaviors. And that's the step that we have to take.
I wonder if you can take over from Casimiro and tell us what you think the most important issues are.
The reality is that very well-known companies that have suffered a cyber attack, they haven't been able to recover, to respond properly in the different angles that are required. I mean, not only the technical side, the internal communication side, the law enforcement requirements, the media communication, the stakeholders communication. Cybersecurity is all about that. It's not only a question of having an attack and fix it from a technical perspective. It's more than that.
Now we have another world, which is the digital trust. And digital trust is totally different. You have less, you feel less the pain of doing something physically. The same as you have less feeling of guilty if you rob a bank in a digital world. That's what happened with cyber criminals. They don't mind robbing millions in a bank, but perhaps they would mind doing that physically with a gun with some people in front of them. So the world in which we are living has a different type of trust, and that's why the cognitive biases that we had before are not enough. So we have to rewire our brain, and that's what we need to do by education. And this education has to be story-based, because we learn through stories. We learn through what happened to others, but seeing that from our perspective.
Isn't there a danger employers are starting to think, come on, what are we supposed to do? Every day you ask us to do something new. Isn't it up to you as a company to make sure we are safe at work?
The most important change that we have to give to our employees, and this is a case of company perspective, is to change from a model of you are the weakest link, which has lots of negative connotations, to a model in which you are our first line of defense, which has very positive connotations. And unfortunately, the phrase is not mine, so I would love to. So we, as a company, we need to automate our capability to respond. We need to put all the technology and people and procedures, solutions or controls. But then we also have to make sure that the individuals understand their role as well. And up until now, it has been either you are the weakest link or security is everyone's role.
Is it enough to tell people, be very scared?
No, not enough. I think that we usually say that in terms of cybersecurity, we use the word reboot our minds. Everything that you think before coming to this session about cybersecurity, the idea is reboot. I think boards and C-levels should reboot what they think that they should do, because they have new responsibilities and they are accountable according to the laws that are changing and the new regulations that are coming. People, employees should reboot their mind in terms of not only to be more or less conscious of what they do, but to be conscious of the risk if they don't follow the proper policies, etc. So it's a question of change the mind. How do you change your mind? In some cases, what we are developing with some clients is what we talk this cybersecurity behavior index that mapping to your policies and mapping to the behaviors of the people, you are able to measure through different actions how is your behavior in cybersecurity.
Can either of you give me some examples of these more positive motivators that companies could be using?
Well, a positive motivator is, for example, when you show that it has a differentiator in selling something, either selling a service on internet or selling something from your company. But there are companies that are now starting to sell, and I think it has been a very difficult road, starting to sell security and privacy as a differentiator in their offering.
I think that one of the exercises that is still not done and is a way to see a different approach to security is map the security threats and the security actions to your specific business value chain. No?
Mm-hmm. If we're going to be insuring companies, will the insurance companies start saying, you will get a much lower rate, or we will only agree to insure you if you've got this and this and this level of security in place? Saying this to people at home as well, if you want to be secured against hacking, we want to see you do these things. Is that already happening? Should it happen?
We talked before about incentives. And incentives can be of two types. They can be a carrot or they can be a stick. That would be a carrot for people to be insured. But unless you have the stick of everyone needs to be insured, then probably it wouldn't change behaviors.
My opinion is that the market or high-level management maybe is still educated for these consequences and the relationship between both things, the risk of cybersecurity and the legal consequences.
I think this is an absolutely excellent point, and we have already seen huge reputational consequences from cybersecurity lapses, big data thefts from telecoms companies, from banks. They suffer a big reputational risk, but your point is it's only a matter of time before there are criminal consequences, and certainly as we're talking about litigation in the US, shareholder suits against companies that have destroyed value through lack of cybersecurity. I wonder what you think the big issue is that people should be thinking about.
I think that we, in the education area, we have the responsibility to find ways to help them, to help people to have easy access to information and to how to do things, either companies with awareness programs or education companies like ours here, INFT, in which we can, in a way, not only inform, but also be good at changing the behaviors.
Innovation in the widest sense of the word is something that is equals to cybersecurity. I mean, innovate, I mean, in people behavior, innovate in technology, innovate in how companies are addressing these topics. The concept of innovation, not only the technology innovation, is clear that should be linked with all of us mindset when we talk about cybersecurity. In all the investment that companies are doing, in all the things that are happening in the market, is something that we cannot separate innovation of cybersecurity, because tomorrow things will be different than today.
Casimiro, thank you very much, and I'd like to thank all of you for giving up your time, for coming here today. I hope you found this worthwhile. Thank you all very much.